So after each module, we're going to do this summary that kind of brings together the last couple of videos that talks about, what this big challenge is. So to summarize, why is data governance so hard is because of all those things we talked about in the first video. Data has value, it's being generated really rapidly and everybody's getting involved and people are just jumping between jobs. We need to make sure that people can pick up the skills they need quickly to achieve the right outcomes for an organization at the right time. If people are going to be moving organizations every 2 years, we need to make sure they're effective on day one. We can't wait 12 months for them to understand our customized framework. And that's really what we're talking about here, is making sure that data governance is a skill set that everybody can pick up and we can communicate to people what they need to do effectively. So for that to happen, it needs to be accessible. We need to tell people very, very clearly what their job is. Tell people what their job is and they will do it. It needs to be transferable. We can't create and recreate and reinvent the wheel at every organization. We need to develop a framework that people can follow across their entire life cycle. What are some skill sets we can do that make data governance a community? What are some skill sets we can do that everybody can use? And how do we make it so that we're achieving things quickly? And that's what we're doing with the MAST methodology, is really making sure that that is a really core component of this. So what we're going to be doing through the rest of this course is we're going to be breaking down each of these beliefs and each of these behaviors so you can do them in your own organizations and communicate them to others. Because it is something that can be made easy and it is something that can be communicated across the entire organization. And that's something that we've seen at Aristotle Metadata, is once we tell people what they need to do, they really do pick that up. So throughout the rest of this course, what we're going to look at is ways that we can share with users at the right time what these beliefs are and what those actions are that they need to be responsible for. And I think we've already covered our first one, and we'll recap this on the next video as well. But I think one thing that we can all agree now so far is that metadata is really critical. Metadata is how we understand data. It's how we understand what's happened to data. So we need people to be documenting that all the time, making sure that we understand what's there. Because if we don't know what data we've got, just like if we don't know what books we've got in our online retailer, if we don't know what data we've got, we're never going to get value from that asset. So we need to make sure everybody understands how they can be part of that process. So to recap, everything that we've kind of talked through is data is coming from our organizations. It comes from people doing business and doing their job. People do their job and they generate data. They make a sale, they generate data. They treat a patient, they help a student, they generate data, because we track what we're doing to get better. And metadata is just the thing that describes what we're doing. It just describes what data we've collected. Data governance is all the procedures that we talk to our employees about when it comes to creating that data and monitoring it as well, to make sure that we're getting the right outcomes, that we're doing the right things. We can't just rely on people doing stuff. We need to monitor what's there. And then the way that we're going to embed this in our organizations is by using what we call the MAST Manifesto, those 4 common beliefs that we'll step through. Metadata is important. We need people to be involved. We want to develop standards. We need teamwork to do it. And that IDEAL framework. What are the behaviors that we can embed in our organization to make sure that people are doing this effectively? So I'm really glad you got this far. Thank you for watching, and you'll see the next module come up soon.